The last meeting, I brought up about several trustees' homes about being, whether or not if they were brought up to code. They wanted to look at the pictures, so I went and I had pictures made up. And the sheets are there in front of you. You can take a look at them. The first one you're looking at is basically Kay Teeter's house without an address. Basically, every house in Carpentersville, according to the village ordinance, is supposed to have an address. She hasn't had her addresses on her house since, I believe, 2000. It's also come to the attention that the backyard has several garbage that's laying up against the house, the garage, and I believe a shed. And she said that she bought her house that way with her garage being with no soffit or no fascia. Now, when you buy a house that's a fix-up, which like I did when I moved in the village, not only did I have to bring it up to code, but I had to put fascia and soffit on there. As a matter of fact, when Trustee Hines came over with helping me on my garage and on my house, I had to replace the soffit, and the rest of the part of the garage had to be done. Now, I also brought up, if you look at the last page on this, you'll see in Mr. Ritter's backyard, there is a trailer. I never said nothing about a blue tarp, but what I did say was that he had some issues as well, besides of having a rabbit cage on his front porch. It's on the last page. He has a trailer in his backyard. It's on the grass. It's not on a slab. And there's also a house that's 163 Austin that's had a broken window, and that's been like that for several years. And then we've got that burnt down house on Williams Road. So in bringing this up, I can't understand how a trustee can sit up here and say that their house is up to code, that I don't know what I'm talking about. One, if you would have watched the last meeting on the TV or on the tape, I told this board, these pictures were sent to me. I didn't step 1 foot in their neighborhood or on their property. As Trustee Sigwalt said I did, and Kay Teeter, she called the police and said they were going to have me arrested for trespassing, but they couldn't because they didn't see me. Well, if they would have watched the tape and they would have listened, these were sent to me. When I opened up my grill, I found them inside my grill. Can you ask him to leave?
I'm sorry, was that Kent?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Could you ask him to
Ken,
leave? I had to leave last
I warned
week.
you at the last meeting, Kent, and you can't just speak out. You've been here long enough to know that.
Yeah, I find it entertaining that we're kicking out someone when this man comes forward and violates the rules of decorum that we established at the beginning. You cannot attack a trustee by name.
Right, and he's
It's
doing that.
specifically stated in there.
But do you attack me and use my name when you're doing trustee reports and then I say something and I get kicked
I don't
out?
attack you. I don't say anything about you.
You have. You even
No, I
pulled me
haven't.
back into court.
First of all,
he's
we also
not
are not
supposed
supposed
to
to
be
be
doing
debating with the
Exactly.
person. He's got 5 minutes, and you guys have overruled me for interrupting
And,
people. So let's
I-
let's play it straight up, okay?
Well, we should take a
Straight up.
consensus of a vote.
Well, I mean, if you guys play it by your rules when you have your guys up there and then don't allow other people to speak,
It should
I mean,
be-
what is
then why
that
have the
saying?
rules of decorum? Why have them? Let's just
That's
get
what
rid of them.
that's what I've asked several
get
times
rid of
because you guys overrule me when I try to enforce the rules.
Well, it's a point of order, actually.
But you know what, President Sarto, if I may, it takes this board, these board members, it takes us telling you to remove this man when he's speaking out of turn, but yet you readily remove other people at will.
Then why isn't he
Do you think
removed?
it's wise for us to allow people to speak from the audience?
I think you're
think that's
playing
not-
favoritism.
Agreed. I don't think
You know,
people
I
should
think
speak
what
from the
he's
audience.
talking about is village business. I mean, if there are people
And
who
it's
are...
already been addressed.
There's
This
rules
isn't
of
the
village
decorum.
business
board
of
meeting.
having.
There's
I'm
rules of
sorry, but we're
decorum.
going to
It's a
call this
point of
meeting
order.
back to order.
It's a point of order.
I'm sorry, we're going to call this meeting back to order. He has
Like-
his time to speak, and Terry, please give him this time that we have been discussing this.
Can I ask you to ask him to leave? This is the second time he's
He's
done this.
already
when I'm
gone. Just go ahead.
So getting back to this, I had stuff against my garage when I first moved here, when I bought the house. Not only did they tell me, and at this time, I believe trustee Sigwalt said something at the last meeting that during, executive session, I didn't bring up anything about executive session. She did about two other people that work for this village. And I never brought any of that up. But one of the girls that worked there, I asked her, I says, when you came to my house and you wrote me up and told me and you gave me 10 days to get rid of this stuff, what's the difference between this? So you can see all the stuff that's in the yard. What's the difference between that and the stuff that was in my yard that I got written up for? What
President
makes
Sarto?
it any different or any special for them to turn around and not be written up?
President Sarto, if I just might make a comment. First of all,
You really are out of order, trustee Sigwalt.
You're confusing the comment. My comment to you was that you were lying about what I supposedly said
Not even
and how
talking
I was
about it.
supposed to be
supposed to be
telling.
debating.
I'm sorry,
folks
but we are
to
not
target.
debating with the
No,
people
he's
at the
giving out
podium.
misinformation again, which this man is famous
You
for.
can address that during
Mind
your
your own
report.
business.
You can address that during your report, trustee Sigwalt. You do have a microphone, and you do have, you know, the ability to respond to those.
So I believe that exactly what happened was that the individuals that did give me a written notice, and by the way, I also understand that one of our employees has only been here 6 months and lives right down the street from trustee Sigwalt's house. And that's where the connection comes in that you want to know. His name is Rick. And with the garbage that's there and with me being written up, I just don't think it's fair. I think that the village needs to look, because there's them, meaning the board, and there's us, meaning the citizens of Carpentersville. There must be rules for them. So if there's rules strictly for you guys and we get written up, I'm telling the citizens then the Kay Teeter rule and the Ed Ritter rule, call Village President Sarto if you get written up. Bring your tickets in. And I also understand you're only supposed to pay one time.
Okay, that's it. Your time's up. Thank you, Terry. Next person.
Thank you.
Dennis Carr.